Not into long podcasts, don't worry. We've got bite sized clips just for you. This is CWN Clips. Please don't forget to subscribe. Be it McDonald's or be it Wawa, anywhere, there's so much heavy marketing about the food, which is easily available, cheap. So the tendency for the general population is to actually look at it and also the fancy words and go and buy it. So I don't think so there is effort made to stop and bring regulations in terms of giving the right, I would say, marketing or availability of healthy options. Nobody markets carrot or beans or any other vegetables, right? So why would they need so much marketing for unhealthy foods? So it's an interesting thought, but I think, what's your perspective about
Yeah,
Walmart's
I
opinion?
think I think there are a lot of ways that we could protect consumers from the dangers of the food swamp, from the dangers of all these tempting products that food companies are putting in front of us. One thing we could do would be to have nutrition labeling on the front of the package instead of on the side of the package, uh, where it is today. Right now, if you look at the nutrition facts panel,
Yeah.
which is required, it's all numbers in small type. You can't make any sense of it unless you study it for a while. What we need is something, and you have to take the product off the shelf to do that. What we need is something on the front of the package that you can see it at a glance when you're going down the aisle with your shopping cart, and something that will use color-coded symbols to tell you whether it's healthy, green, unhealthy, red, or somewhere in between, which would be yellow. Uh, these systems exist, and they are much more useful than the system we have in the United States. But every time we try to get the Food and Drug Administration to require this sort of front of package nutrition labeling, it gets blocked, of course, by the food companies. They don't want that much honesty out there in front of
Consumers.
their unsuspecting customers. Something else we could do, of course, is to restrict the advertising of some foods, those that are heavy in sugar, salt, and fat. We could restrict the advertising of those foods, at least to children. Uh, and a number of countries do that, but the United States doesn't do that. There's a quirk in our legal system that allows the Supreme Court to classify food advertisements as speech. And so it can't,
Freedom of
we have
speech.
free speech here, and you can't restrict advertising because it's considered a restriction on free speech. Uh, the third thing we could do uh, is to uh, is to take some products that have very little nutrition value at all and serious adverse health consequences like sugar sweetened beverages and put an excise tax on those products in order to discourage their consumption. And this is done in a number of European countries, and it's now being done in half a dozen or so municipalities in the United States.
Hmm.
And it works. The consumption of these products goes down if the price is noticeably higher
Right, right. That's the
on the
only way.
shelf, not just at checkout, but on the shelf. An excise tax shows up on the shelf. You don't have to. You're not. It doesn't get slipped in as you're
Mm,
checking out.
yes, that's true.
And and yet we haven't done that at the state level anywhere or at the federal level anywhere in the United States. So it's not as though policy instruments aren't available to help us out here. It's just that a combination of consumer resistance to any kind of regulation or tax, plus, of course, food company resistance to any of these things, makes it easy in the Congress and in most state legislatures to stop these ideas dead in their tracks.
Yeah. I think when you talked about the excise tax, I think That's a very important point to look at. I mean, again, you're very specific on in the shelf, right? So it's not that I just look at it as probably not a expensive product and I pick it up, and then during the checkout it doesn't make sense because I've already picked it up. So it's important to have that shows up in the shelf so that
Sure.
peop the consumers make the conscious choice of choosing the healthy products. At least they move towards it. Yeah,
And
that
there are other systems as well that are in use. They're voluntary systems, but some of them are being used by supermarkets. It's not a front of package label, but a front of shelf label. There's a system called Guiding Stars, which is used by half a dozen different supermarket chains in the United States.
hmm.
And products on the shelf are given either 1 star, 2 stars, 3 stars, or no stars, depending upon their nutrition value per 100 calories of content. And it's a very easy thing for customers to use. When I looked at this, I wasn't totally surprised to learn that when the guiding stars labels were first put on the shelf in one supermarket chain, they were somewhat abashed to learn that half of the products in the store got no stars at all.
It's expected, right? That's how it is. The current supermarket, when you walk in, of course, yeah. I think if you go and do a guiding stars in majority of the retail chains today, and you also talked about in the book, I don't think so. Half the more than half of their products would be no stars or 1 star, probably.
Yeah.
I would say yes. Um,
But we want to keep buying these products because, as I say, we've developed a virtual addiction to these kinds of foods. Now, the food companies say, "Hey, wait a minute, we're not forcing you to buy these things. It's a matter of personal responsibility. We don't have a gun to your head. You're the person who puts it in your mouth. It's personal responsibility." And then I say to myself, "Well, wait a minute. The obesity rate in the United States today is 3 times as high as it was in the 1970s. It can't possibly be the case that we are 3 times as irresponsible today
hmm.
as we were in the 1970s. It's not consumers that have changed. It's the nature of the products and their availability, the fact that we're surrounded with them all the time, that has put us in a very difficult position. Now, not everybody, of course, is susceptible to this kind of advertising and and temptation. If you're a health conscious consumer, you've learned not to pay any attention at all to these products and to the advertisements. They go right over your head.
Yes.
And you go straight for the healthy products out on the perimeter of the store. But uh, most uh, most consumers are insufficiently health conscious, or they're after the greater convenience that comes with eating packaged products that don't even have to be cooked. You can
Free
maybe
to
heat them up in the microwave, or boil them in the water,
Yep.
and there's no cleanup. It's a lot easier if you're an overstressed parent trying to feed your kids at the end of a long, busy day. You don't want to spend a lot of time in food shopping, food preparation, and food cleanup. And so it's convenience that also drives us in the direction of these unhealthy products.
Right. I think it's twofold. If we have to look at in terms of to solve this uh, kind of the problem of convenience versus trying to choose the right food for you to feed you and your children. Um, One is to either individual consumer has to be more aware of the the healthy options, or the government and the policies, or even the individual companies who produce these products to actually be providing that information ahead of time. Okay, what is the repercussions, or probably what is the health benefits you're going to get by using this product upfront, so that you are making an aware choice. And I think it should be two way. I mean, we can't really compromise, or probably push the consumer to actually choose against convenience, because definitely when it comes to convenience versus cooking your own food, spending the time, probably
Right.
everybody will go with convenience. So that's inevitable. But how do we make that convenient choice of the consumer doesn't impact them adversely, their health? It's also a moral responsibility of the companies who produce those convenient foods, which is healthier, right? So it should be looked at both ways. Thanks for watching this highlights from CWN Clips. If you want to dive deeper, the full episode is linked below.